come
Right.
when, and TJ's gonna join us in a second. You come when you feel like you can add something to the conversation, and it's literally set up to be that way. So like, don't ever feel that way. Don't ever feel like you're not giving anything to us because you're not there. We're
Right.
set up in a way for you to be there when you want to be there, when you can add something to the conversation. It just so happens that like the 5 or 6 people who come regularly, like this is kind of their therapy, right? Like I go to therapy once a week. I see a psychologist every week, but this is like I need to see the fellas once a week because I'm in the house, right? Like I'm a stay-at-home daddy. So all I see is me and my little beautiful baby girl. And if I don't see y'all, you know what I mean?
And that's
like
it.
it's a different ball
Yeah.
game, man. So I need that energy. I need that energy because I got nothing but like I got my mama, I got my daughter, and I got my wife. So I got 3 women. So I need the fellas.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't ever feel that way, man. We appreciate you and love you every time you come through. You know what I mean? And that's why we set this up that way.
Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. Like it's like I say, when I do come though, I leave with something every time. Even the days when I'm not there, and then I join, and it's like, hey Wes, you wasn't here for like the last. I know it ain't been going on that long, but hey Wes, I know you missed like the last 18 months. But look, here was the homework. Can you contribute to the homework? All right, well, give me 5 minutes. And so I get it. I sit down. I digest it, and then I give y'all what it is at that moment, man. And like I said, by the end of that call, by the end of that hour, or however long it ends up being between y'all, I'm gonna just say y'all and group everybody together. I feel like I gotta put him a little bit separately. But between all the fellas and Brush Shack, it's like this is. Might come in with this water bottle you did, but I'm leaving with this one. I mean, I know it's clear. Right. You can't really see it. But one's like almost empty, and the other one is completely full. That's me. That's me.
And I'm gonna say this.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna say this. Like when I started this whole thing, and one day when we're off a call, I will explain to you how this whole thing was started. I will not explain it on a call because it's deeper. It's deeper than rap. But when I started this and you reached out to the post that I put out there, I had always seen you and I know how connected you were to the homies. I said, oh, this shit's finna be real. When I saw that Wes was finna be in it, I'm like, you ever had respect for somebody that you never knew or never met, but you just like, because social media is that way. You just know, like, I'm like, wait, Wes wants to join. Like I called Dominique, I called Nico, and I was like, dog, Wes is finna join. And like, even the fact that like you come when you come, but just for the fact that like you, even when you reached out, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And then you've been here this long, bro. That like gave me so much validation for how powerful this thing could be.
Word. Man, I appreciate you for starting the post. Like I said, the session that I was going to in person, you know, COVID had different ideas. And then when you reached out, I honestly, initially, I was like, this is probably one of them, this ain't gonna happen type of things. Mm-hmm. But then it happened, and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. But I was just like we mentioned, bro, we've been probably in the same spaces. We probably have 100 or maybe more Facebook mutuals. But to this day, we've never met in person. Right. And we mentioned it on the very first call. We was like, yo, this is our first time. Shit, that was our first time even talking to each other.
Look, we said before we even did the cordials, we said, look, bro, I know I never met you face to face, but I know you. Like, it was like,
Yeah,
let's get the awkwardness out the way. Let's get the awkwardness out the way.
yeah,
Look, I fuck with you, but I never met you. I just want to
right,
let you know it ain't because of whoopty wham bam.
right, exactly. It was
And that's
just
what, look, I
for
swear to
whatever
God,
reason,
that's where
bro.
I was like, I really fucked with you after that moment too, because I was like, I was just so happy you would join. But then when you said, like,
Mhm.
you started that conversation off, I was like, okay, he a real one. He a real one. Cause
Yeah, it's
he cut the awkwardness out the fucking way.
got it. No, I'm awkward. I am awkward already. A phone or some type of electronic makes it easier for me to live in my awkwardness. Like if this would have been in person, it would have took me an hour before I'd have been like, "Hey, look, Tone, I know I don't know you, dog. We ain't never met, but what's up?" But I mean, the electronic just made. But I had to, dog. I had to get that shit out the way. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like,
And you
"This
know,
man,
just
I
me too.
ain't
It's
never
like,
met
it
this."
was like I was so familiar with you. You know what I mean? I was so familiar
Mm-hmm.
with you, but I'm like, I don't really know this dude like that. But I was like, but I feel like I know him.
Yeah, same, same, same. I've seen your name. We've been Facebook friends for forever. I've seen your name on flyers. I might have seen a piece or two that you did.
But
Nigga
I
just never
don't
met.
really
Nigga
like,
just ain't never
like
met,
I know
dog.
you
Right?
that dude, but I'm like, but you know, but that's dope. That's dope. And I think that honestly, I think having that safe space, because like TJ's here now, so we can bring TJ into the conversation.
Word.
It's the same way. I never knew TJ or knew of TJ till he was introduced to the group. But then literally the moment that I
Mm.
met TJ, like TJ damn near gonna be the fucking godfather of my next child, if I have another child.
Word.
Jelly needs a little brother, man. Don't you think?
Word.
Man. We just did, look, we did Christmas photos today, bro. We did Christmas photos today.
Oh, that's dope.
Hey, y'all went to Christmas in the Oaks and did it, or y'all went to somewhere else?
We just did City Park and just we had a photographer come out. But we thinking about that, man. Me and the missus thinking about doing number 2, man. Like, just because Jelly is she's so independent, but we kind of might need to put a little another one in a bun, another in it, because me and my wife are so connected that Jelly sometimes be getting jealous. Like Jelly get mad if we kiss each other.
That's kids, bro.
She's such a boss, man. It's crazy.
That's kids.
But yeah, I was just I don't know. Like I was reading Tony's post from earlier this week, man. You be so random, Tony Wilson. I'm like, okay. Sometimes, no, I'm gonna be very honest because I can do this. I'm like, sometimes I'd be thinking to myself, Tony's probably sitting on the toilet or something, and he just randomly thought about this, and then put out his phone, and then before you know it, he got 60 people commenting on it, and they're talking about like wanking at work. I'm like, what?
You're not wrong. That's the problem. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. No, I'm dead ass serious. I wish my wife was in the room right now, because she could tell you I probably was sitting on the toilet. Hey, boo. Look, come here real quick. TJ just says that my posts are so random. He thinks that maybe I'm just sitting on the toilet and I come up with a question and then I ask it. Is he wrong?
No, that's probably accurate.
Say it to the thing. Say it to the people.
I said that's probably accurate.
No, because I see, because I see Nico the same way. Because I'm like, where is this? Like, where are y'all pulling this from? Like, what? I'm like, what mushroom have you eaten? You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
no,
that's
you're
why
probably like literally.
Wes,
Because my brain be working so fast, bro. Like I'll be sitting here and I'm like,
I feel you.
I wonder who is masturbated at work. And then I ask the question, and then it brings up another thought, and then I ask the next question. But I probably was on the toilet when I asked that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have an audience that responds.
that will humor your irreverence. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, look, sometimes I post that shit and I be.
TJ right here.
Go ahead.
Like, I'm about to say, I had that question where I wanted the fellas to give me some advice because I had some homework that I was doing. And I asked that question. I was like, yo, I need to know how y'all appreciate y'all woman specifically. I know how to say specific, but I always say specific. I like to say Pacific, you dig?
I saw that.
And so my response was, how do I appreciate Atlantically?
Atlantically. So the question was, fellas, how do you appreciate your woman? Not yours. Specifically. I know how to spell specific. I can spell specifically. I can say them both with no problem. I like to joke and I like to clown. So I'm going to say Pacific all the time.
And so, they got you back.
No, first response on that thing. I just do more of what I'm not doing. Nigga, that don't help me. Second answer was ocean. Third answer, ocean. Then here come TJ, Atlantically. But nigga, y'all gonna answer the question or not?
I felt like I gave the most logical answer in that whole motherfucker. I was like, what I do?
Right. Yeah. I'm like, live it up to Tony to be the mature married man to answer this properly instead of trolling the man, because that.
Tony and one other person answered it. Then my cousin jump in toward the end. This sounds like a monogamous question.
You know,
he's poly. And so I'm like, fam.
Doesn't it kind of in a backwards way reveal a harsh truth about us that sometimes we just be winging it. We don't specifically know how to cater specifically know how to cater to our loved ones. You know, we just be kind of winging it, hoping that we get back in their good graces, and good graces means we're in the good guts, I guess. I don't know. But shoot, we gotta be more intentional. Absolutely.
But here's the issue too. Like, we're thinking of this shit as a theory. I'm gonna tell you right now, there is no theory. There's no theory that's gonna make this right. What it comes down to is you just get somebody who you fuck with enough to want to fuck with beside yourself. There's no theory. There really is no theory. If you look at my marriage, I could tell you 100 things that I've done to fuck up my marriage, and I could tell you 100 things that I've done to make my marriage great.
Like leaving the toilet seat up.
But I'm saying, no, it's literally about just like adjusting to who you fuck with and who fucks with you. Like, does this motherfucker fuck with your sneaky ass socks and your stinky drawers? Do you fuck with their stinky socks and stinky drawers? Do you sit back and be like, oh, okay, the bitch down the street who ain't had a man in 2 years is finna give me some of the best pussy in my life. She ain't got stinky drawers or stinky socks. But you know, once you fuck her, you're going to have a whole fucking gambit of issues. Or do you stay with your fucking situation as good and you're dealing with your stinky socks and stinky drawers and you throw them motherfuckers into the washing machine? There ain't no theory. There's no theory. There's no theory to marriages or relationships. It's just you literally find a person you feel safe with and you feel comfortable with. I feel safe with my wife. I've never felt safe with another woman. And I date and let's be real, I date a white woman. So you know the complications that come with that. I got a white woman who's pro-black and who's gonna make sure that she protects our household and protects her black man. You're not gonna find a lot of that. You literally have to just find who fucks with you and who you fuck with.
Right. Listen, my homework, the thing that brought that up was, so I mentioned in my intro that I am involved in the kink community. I have a dom, and when I was in Denver, my dom was like, I need you to, this is your homework assignment. I need you to write down some stuff to show your appreciation to me. I needed other niggas to give me ideas, because by the time I hit that post, I already had what y'all niggas was telling me. I didn't have it Atlantically because I'm putting that shit. do more of what I'm not doing, what the fuck is this nigga do? I don't know what you do. Like the dude that made the first comment lives with his girl, and they just had a baby. They got like a 6-month-old, I think. Fam, I don't know what y'all dynamic is in the house. Help me on this post. Help me. Now, that's exactly how I was looking. So then the very last comment on there just so happened to be from a woman, and she was like, specifically, so I broke the whole thing down. I said, hey, listen, you know how some people can't pronounce the word? I can do both. But I need people to be specific in the Pacific answer that I'm asking for. And she was like, oh, well, you know your audience. Clearly, I don't, because these niggas are trolling. And I got 2 serious answers out of the 10 on this post. Fuck it. But, Tone, I appreciate your answer, dog. Some of what you had, I already had down. But
I gave a good answer. I just want to know I contributed to the conversation.
Good answer. Good answer.
You gave a good answer. It's the ocean and this Atlantic nigga TJ that that I got an issue with.
Well, see, I don't have a relationship right now or anybody that I'm really dealing with. So I was just kind of there. I wanted to see how fruitful the answers would be, and I just like
TJ's a troll. TJ is a troll. Let's just get like TJ be trolling the fuck out of my shit.
But I am a witty troll. I troll with purpose.
Listen, did I not laugh when I saw Atlantically? Yes.
Exactly.
I laughed. But
TJ was the dude we would have cheated off his test in high school, right? When he answered that, we knew he would have cheated off his test.
Yeah, and yeah. I might have. Oh, I wasn't gonna hide my paper, I guess.
Yeah, I mean.
But so, you know what it comes down to, bro. I like that you gave that analogy when you said like you have a dom, because in some ways I feel my wife is a dom, but intellectually, like
Sapio life.
You would agree with that? You would agree with that, TJ?
I could see that she's attentive enough, especially to you. So I could definitely see that.
Like she knows what I'm gonna do before, like even if I was to like, hey boo, I'm finna roll out real quick, go see TJ. I'll be back in a couple hours. She gonna know that's a lie. She gonna see me all the way through that lie and gonna be like, what bitch house you at? Bring your ass home. Cause you were one of them dusty ass bitches.
For starters, I'm just impressed that she knows what dusty is. So yeah, that. So I could totally see that, Tony. You know, yeah. You're no slouch yourself, so she has to be on her P's and Q's with you, and she is. And I'm sure you appreciate her for that, and vice versa.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been times in our relationship where I've been on some reckless shit, and then it's like, you need her to wrangle it in, and like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. This ain't how we move. You know what I mean? Kind of setting that standard. So with that, it's also setting the standard of how you treat this person. So like with her is, we have our ways where I can tell her like, bro, you really pissing me off. I don't like this. But then there's also those ways of like, you really have to tune in to her spirit and to her soul. And, with women, it's not necessarily like what you do for them, but it's how you do it for them. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, you got to tap into that. Like, let's say, she likes mangoes. I know it's a weird ass example, but she likes mangoes. And her birthday's coming up. She better walk into the house with a mango platter and her favorite foods and different things like that. Like you constantly got to keep it. You got to keep it. What's the word I'm looking for here?
You got to keep it spicy. Like
keep it spicy.
It's all of that is intention.
Yeah.
Right. You have to be attentive and intentional with that. Like I'm that type of person, I want to be when I ever get to that point with somebody. If I know your comfort food is gummy bears, you're gonna go to work and you're gonna have like 2 bags of gummy bears on your windshield just because it's Tuesday, and you're gonna already know who it is, and you're gonna text me or call me and be like, "Now that's what I want to do." And
well,
see,
like if you
like
know,
I think some
it's like this. If you know, and you can even say this with your mama, because I learned this from my mama. When you know when your mama go get her hair done, right? What's the first thing you need to say when she walked through that fucking door?
You gotta give a compliment.
you gotta bump her up, man.
You gotta give a compliment. Oh,
I see you, mama.
Cause why did she get? Because first off, you look, for me, my mama didn't have no man. I was her man. You know what I mean? So it's like when she walked through that door, I was supposed to be the first person. My mom used to walk through, pat her hair like 5 times. I was young. She pat her hair 5 times and then walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I complimented her hair. So that's why when your woman walks through, you know she's going to get her hair and her nails done. First off, you should be paying for the hair and nails to be done. You shouldn't even have to even ask for that. When she walked through, boo, let me see. She won a fashion show. She been dealing with your dusty ass all this damn time. And understand, I think I'm fly. But I'm also damn near 10 years into a relationship and marriage. So I know my wife could find somebody younger and fresher than me. You better be doing everything to keep her head bucked up, making her feel fresh, smacking her on her booty, whatever you got to do.
Absolutely.
yeah.
You got to keep it spicy. And it's, homework. If you got to, I imagine romance to be that way. But, you know, just kind of like over time, I see so many dudes that are so doggone lazy. Yeah, but then, you know, something mistakenly happens, like they make a child, or, you know, they catch something, or, you know, like something happens, and it's just like, well, you know, now you're in it for the long haul. Well, in the immediate future with this person, and, you know, you didn't even, you know, you weren't even supposed to be there, and I just so it disappoints me that we cause the trauma a lot of times that these ladies and our significant others deal with. You know, I've always been the guy that's been jaded because, you know, these you know, people will pursue someone who I know to be trash or I believe to be trash, and then, you know, we see what the end's gonna be, and they end up being trash. But then you know, you were there for like 6-7 months, you know, y'all might have had good sex, whatever. You can get that from anybody at this point, for real. And then now, you know, you got somebody who's actually legitimate and you could actually deserve your time, but then you don't know how to trust them because some buster messed over you. And
But
now
let's take this.
You're broken.
So as men, as black men, let's take this deeper. Let's dissect why do they do that? Because there's a reason why they do that. Like, I know it hurts our feelings and our pride and ego when that happens, but there's a reason why they do that. Why do they take the buster over the dude who's showing them right now, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there? But why do they do that? Go ahead, Wes.
It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing. There's something with that guy that they're not choosing that they don't trust. I have she's one of my best friends now. And we tried to date, and I was just infatuated and smitten over this girl for smitten.
I like that word.
For years, I wanted to, like, we went on a date, and then I think the day we had our first date, earlier in the day, she was just out running errands, and it just so happened to run into like one of my cousins, and they set up a date after we set up a date. Now, at the time, everybody was single. She chose to pursue something with cuz instead of me because of whatever that little inkling of a trust thing was. And it took us a couple years before we got to it, where she kept just certain things that we were dealing with in our interactions where she would just it kept being brought up, and ultimately I wasn't her type, body wise. Body wise, she wanted big, buff, strong, football, athletic, basketball player type of dude. I'm slim. I ain't never played ball. I can't gain weight to save my life. And so it wasn't anything else. It was just that trust factor for her with that. Like she didn't trust, in my mind, she didn't trust that I would be able to give her what she wanted because she wasn't physically attracted to me. Like I was, in my mind, I was checking all the boxes. Like we hung out, we went places, we went on dates. She could call and vent to me anytime she felt like it. If she called at like 11 o'clock at night and was like, hey, you want to go take a drive? Fuck it, let's go. Where am I meeting you at? Are we hopping in the car? I don't even care. It's 11 at night. I just want to be with you. Let's go. And I felt like I was doing everything that I could, but I wasn't her type. And to this day, she is still single. She's had multiple relationships in that time frame. I have had zero actual relationships in that time frame.
And you're still around her?
I could call her. I'm not gonna say I could call her right now and she'll answer. But if I call her right now, she don't answer. She'll probably hit me back. If not in a couple hours, first thing in the morning when she get free. Like I could. She's a honest to goodness friend at this point. I could text or call her at any time. We went to in the summer. She drove. We took a trip to, I forgot where it was, Tunica Falls. We went on a hiking trail together, and it's still like there were some things that got pointed out on that trail that was just like, man, I'm glad a relationship didn't work with us because we'll be getting into it all the time, but we still are around each other. Like she was the first person. I bought my house. I signed the paperwork on my house. She was the first person. Actually, let me not even say family. This woman saw my house before my mama saw my house. She stayed after the housewarming party and helped me clean up. Nothing ever happened, like physically between us. But she was just that kind of person. Hey, you want to come over? You want to come hang out? Like we was in the house and in the garage smoking and chilling, and I had not a lick of furniture in this bitch. I couldn't even live in the house at the time that I bought it, but she was here. And it just, for me, eventually just turned into, all right, a relationship is never gonna work between us. Let's just be really good friends, and that's where we at right now.
That's so intriguing, bro, because I've always found that women like having the friend they can always keep in their back pocket, and. But see, I'll tell you, you probably have been the subject of many a conversation between her homegirls and her about you.
Probably.
Just the fact that you're a good dude, you communicate, she probably likes your company, all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody in that group was probably rooting for you, and then she was like, "But I don't really see him like that, like that." But then they're also the same person who they come to you when stuff is going south, and then you're just sitting there just kind of like,
yeah, bro. I don't eat cabbage. I don't like, New Year's tradition. Everybody eats cabbage and black-eyed peas
and cornbread. Yep.
The way that she cooked cabbage it was still green, so it wasn't smothered. So however she did it is how she did it. She got me to eat cabbage, bro.
She got that voodoo.
She will call me at the end of the year or like at some first 2 weeks in January. Wes, I got cabbage. Do you want some? Yeah. So now I'm at the house, in her house, eating cabbage and black-eyed peas and whatever it is, whatever else that she put on the plate for me to eat. She's the only person that she made the cabbage, I ate the cabbage. She's the only person to get me to eat cabbage.
Well, I'm gonna say this. It's not to refute anything that you guys have said, but I'm just gonna give my take based off of what I've seen in the world that honestly, when I was in my 20s, I didn't even agree with. Honestly, what it comes down to is your safety, right?
Mhm.
The nice guy doesn't win in those positions because they don't know what he's capable of. The nice guy could eventually be a low down, dirty nigga just like everybody else, right? But he's not presenting that. He's presenting all this comfort, all this cool. They don't know what to expect off of that. So what they do know how to expect is that low down, dirty nigga that's doing them dirty. They know what to expect with that. Every human is like this. We get into shit that we know what the outcome's gonna be, right? We like, okay, she this type of person. She a church girl, so I'm gonna get this. But then when the church girl go off the handles, now you fucked up in the head, right? It's the same thing in this situation. She's looking at like, okay, this nice dude, he's nice, but what is his actual motive? Is he this nice or is blah, 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 blah? What she's looking at is saying, I know this grimy ass dude. I know he ain't taking care of his kids. But guess what? He comes through every night and he gives me what I need. He supplies everything. I know he ain't got no money, but he's consistent. The problem comes down to is like the nice dude doesn't always show that consistency because they don't know what they're getting in the end. So they have to take the chance to be like, oh, let me take the chance with this nice dude that he can actually fuck me over instead of being like, oh, let me fuck with this grimy ass dude who I know is going to fuck me over, but at least I know he's going to fuck me over. That means a lot to women, bro. That means a lot to women. Sorry.
I've had to work on being jaded because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. And then, also the reality that, when the good guy falls short, you're going to hold it against me more than the dude who's talking to two other people on you and you know about it, but you feel like you're in control of the infidelity because you can call him over when you feel like it. So you feel like you're doing yourself a favor. At the end of the day, you're still shooting yourself in the foot. So why not just go for something different? But going
for something different takes.
Also, I have a haves and haves nots perspective on stuff, and nobody's ever talked me out of it.
But going for something different, but TJ, going for something different is so much more of a risk. Because the conversation they're going to have with their girls when old boy fucked them over, they already were preparing that conversation. But the conversation they have when you fuck them over as a good dude, that's going to be a whole different ball game. Completely different. Like I said, put yourself in a position of if it was a church girl who she's the daughter of the deacon, and then you find out she's fucking everybody under the sun, but you found out on your dime. Nigga, your world gonna be fucked all the way up, right or wrong.
The good people always have a shorter leash than the dogs, the actual dogs. The good ones have a shorter leash.
But even though, who wants to put themselves through that anguish, right? Like, how would you feel if you jumped into a relationship and you said this is a good person? They're portraying themselves as a good person, or I don't even want to say good or bad, but like they're portraying themselves as a monogamous person that they want to be with you and only with you, and then you find out they don't fuck half your homeboys while you were with them. Like, how much more do you have to like? How much more is the rebuild after you find that out? Versus if you fucking with the girl from down the street who you know she fucking everybody and you just waiting your turn, you're going to be less hurt.
Yep.
Because you expecting it. You like that this is just what she does. This is what he does, whatever it is. So we can't expect from women, even though it comes out where we end up being the people in, the at the end of the barrel with it, we can't expect more from them than what we would do for ourselves.
Yeah.
We would do the exact same thing. It just sucks that you're the dude who really wants to do well by her and you're being put through the fucking ringer when homeboy down the street ain't being put through that ringer.
Yep.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, it's crazy how when it's us, we end up doing the same thing. We find a way to chase after folk who don't want us, and then the folk who actually might be interested, we overlook them. The dominoes always fall the same way.
Yeah,
Facts.
Crazy.
Facts.
Dang.
we are attracted to the most undesirable. I'm sorry, go ahead, Wes.
I was about to say, I outside of this, I know for sure I've wasted a lot of time pursuing women that did not and showed me that they did not want me at all. I spent, man, this one chick. I'm gonna just say fuck. I spent probably 10 years chasing, like high key, mid range keys, all the keys, probably 10 years, all the keys, and it wasn't until we had always somehow got back together on social media, on all the social media, and I didn't give up my dreams of chasing her until I saw her on IG, married with kids and pregnant, and it was at that moment I was like, all right, dog, this is it. This is it. We hadn't talked in like 4-5 years on the phone or nothing like that. And the next time I see her, she married with kids. So hey, you out of here, cuz. You done. It is a rizap. And it who's to say a relationship would have ever worked had she would have ever given me the chance. But I wasted, I probably, like I said, probably 10 years off and on. And then, like I said, it was just, they saw that at that time, yeah, gave that up. But I'm pretty, how many people, as TJ just mentioned, how many people in that 10 years did I put off?
Yep.
Because I was the one that was ignoring the shit out of me.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, I would be on the phone, dog, and it was like, hey, I'm on the thing, yo, I love you, I miss you. When we gonna hang out? When we gonna get together? I'm here, nigga. She in Atlanta. When you come back? Whoopty whoops. And then it was just the phone would disconnect. The phone would literally disconnect. She probably hung up, but I'm gonna say it was disconnected.
Let me
so I called 200, 300, 400 times, never got a response, and then would try that same shit in a couple of weeks. I get ignored for weeks, and then get her back on the phone once. Hey,
and your hope is rekindled all the same, like a fool.
Every time.
Yeah.
Boo the fucking fool.
Let me tell y'all a story quick. So this is me and my wife, right? Which is so funny. It's funny now, but when I met her, I was so jaded. I didn't want to date nobody. I was so done with being like this pawn in this game with these women. Like I was so some other like fucked up shit. And I was like trying to be a rapper. So I had this like in-house studio, and I'm like, I'm not coming out my studio till I could be the best rapper ever. And my wife, my now wife, she sent me a text message when we were dating, and she says, "Are you watching the NBA Finals?" This was back when LeBron was playing OKC in the finals with Miami.
That was 2012.
2012. So yes. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch. No, I'm good. I'm not watching them. My wife was trying to ask me on a date, but I was just like so focused on being a rapper. I was like, no, I'm just going to be in the studio, boom, 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 boom. So she thought that I did not want to see her at all. So she then, we ignored each other for like a month, and then finally got back in touch with each other and then started dating again. And now it's turned into what it's turned into. What's funny about that is in the last 2 years, I watched so much basketball on TV. And she looks at me every time I turn the game on. And she's like, so you watch basketball now, huh?
That's why I love her. Because we are the same.
Look, every time we just watched the game the other day, LaMelo Ball was playing, and I turned on the little game
Behind the back.
and she said, uh-huh. You watch basketball now.
Now you like basketball. Okay.
But when I was trying to ask you
love
when
you
you
got
watch
the
basketball, you
boogie.
weren't trying to have it.
And I promise you, she doesn't do it all the time, but when it's at the most opportune time, just gonna drop it in like, okay, gone. Yep. Yes.
She probably walking in at the fourth quarter when there's 2 minutes left, right in front of the TV. Oh, you watch basketball now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, look, this is what she do too. What's crazy about it is this what she do. Because, I got the ESPN app on my phone, right? So I watch it on my phone.
Okay.
So my wife hear the game.
Okay.
My wife like, put on the big TV. I put on the big TV and then she look at me. And the worst part is TJ knows my wife, so he knows how she's doing this. And
now you won't see them run up and down the court.
And then she make you answer all these fucking questions, bro. Like she asks you every fucking thing in the fucking world. Okay, so who is that? Why is he doing this? How many points did he score? Say, bro, if you like, you could look at the box score if you want.
And you will always have to take it.
You gotta take it. You gotta take
Always.
it. That one time you didn't. The one time you didn't go on that date back in 2012.
You just
So look,
you need to catch her with the seat up one time. That's it. You'll be even.
She too methodical for that. She ain't gonna never let you have that. That's a whole different ball game. So look, fellas, what we gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break right now. And then we're going to come back and then we're going to get into some more in-depth topics because we got our boy West B's in the building. So we're going to talk about that kink life. Give us about a 10-minute break and then we're going to come back and holler at you. Come on.